Stronger together. Stronger, stronger together.
All right, hi y'all. We are back in the kitchen. I, of course, am Karel. Where nutrition is so important these days because look, you know, I preach at you every week on this Cooking for the 99. It's Ember, our newest cast member. She just woke up. She's having a ball. I preach to you every week that if you don't want the high meta... You've been asleep for 5 hours and now you wake up. Come here. Come here. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. All right, I preach to you all the time, hello, honey, about nutrition. In fact, I even cook for my dogs. I also tell you that to stave off in the future, and I mean serious health issues, you have to do stuff in advance. The last thing you want to be 50, 51, 52, 53, and look at something that you could have prevented. Now look, I know it's hard. This is not the figure of Ryan Gosling, honey, okay? I know, I get it, okay? It has been the battle of my life, but it doesn't mean we have to lose it. Now, the USDA just came out, right, Ember? This is Ember. And I want to tell you about nutrition from Ember's standpoint. I adopted her yesterday. We were already at the vet. Why? She was nutritionally deprived. And now she's got vitamins and tonics and high caloric food because she needs good nutrition just like you do. Now I'm going to put Ember down. She's going to go run and bark. Go run and bark, Ember. Okay. I have a nutritionist here from my home city of Long Beach. And your name is?
Dariella.
Hi, Dariella. And your last name?
Gonitzke.
Gonitzke. And you're with?
Eat Freely Nutrition.
Eat Freely Nutrition. First of all, let me ask you.
Yes.
You know, I was going to swear. Why the f*** doesn't insurance pay for nutritionists? You are possibly the most important person a human being could see when it comes to their health care, and you're not covered. Can you tell me why?
They don't like to pay for prevention. I'm preventative.
Yeah, you're the person you should see. You should be working with my doctor on my cases to find, because let's talk about, I jump everywhere.
The same.
Yeah. Well, you know, food is medicine.
Yeah.
People think that a pill started out as a pill. It didn't. It started out as some natural compound.
No.
Food is medicine.
Yep.
And if you take it or eat it properly, you can stave off certain things.
Absolutely.
Now, the biggest problem we have right now, quite literally, is obesity. Now, I always say I was fat before it was fashionable. Had the word husky across my ass in 7th grade, like no one knew, right? It's like, oh yeah. But I'm no longer, now how do I say this? I'm no longer fat, I'm mid-size now. I used to be the big one. I was in the big and tall store, you know, the beach ball stuff that they made us wear. But now I'm sort of normal.
Right.
And America got fatter than me. America, when you get fatter than me, that's fat, okay? Y'all are fat. And they get into this self-defeating cycle of failure.
Absolutely.
They say, I try, nothing happens.
Right.
Let's start about nutrition. How much of what we actually buy in the store or in fast food is actually nutritious food?
That's a great question. Depends where you shop.
Well, let's just say the regular stores. Ralph's, Albertsons, Safeway, Vaughn's, you know, those stores.
If it's conventional food, not organic, not GMO-free, not very nutritious. The produce is lacking in minerals. There's a lot of pesticides and chemicals added to it. The meats have hormones and antibiotics, more pesticides. It's not food.
Well, people wonder why I buy these bananas. And I tell them that there are many breeds of bananas, and not all of them are the high sugar-laden carbohydrate brands that most people buy.
Right.
These are not the high carbohydrate brands. These have less carbs, more energy, still got the fiber, and they're smaller. So it's a single serving for I use these for smoothies, Frosties.
Yeah. They're adorable.
She's been asleep all day. I guess the vitamin tonic, nutrition, the vitamin's working. So we don't eat well, but we think we do. Why is that? Who sold us the lie that we think that we're eating well?
The government.
The government?
Yeah.
That's sort of a ubiquitous term.
I mean, when you look at...
Who benefits from us being fat?
Let's talk about the USDA.
Okay.
The FDA. They're the ones that put out the dietary guidelines.
They're our safeguard. They're the ones who are supposed to make sure poisons and foods are good for us.
Sure.
That poisons don't enter the food
Right.
supply and that the foods we eat are good for us.
Right.
They're failing.
They're failing. A lot of
Are they owned by a lobbyist?
Of course.
So they, yeah, of course.
Yes.
So
I mean, when you look at other countries, they don't use half the pesticides we do. They
No.
don't allow GMO. They don't allow a lot of the things that they allow here.
And in Ireland, in particular, I go a lot.
Yes.
They list on every menu what farm the vegetables come from,
Yeah.
where the meat comes from. In the grocery
wish.
store, it's on the label. It says this
That's
comes
awesome.
from whatever farm.
Yeah.
You could go visit the cows if
Yeah.
you like, which
That's
which I think is great. Now, we can. It's not a futile battle. You can.
Yes.
With just a little bit of thought.
Yes.
Be healthier. Now, the USDA has decided to come out with a guideline. Mm-hmm. We've been battling about diets in this country. First of all, you should not go on a diet ever, right? Never go on a diet, right?
Ever.
Ever. Never go on a diet.
Ruins-
Tell them right there.
ruins
Never go
your-
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Ruins your metabolism.
Don't do it.
Just don't do
If
it.
you went on one for New Year's, stop. You will fail.
Yes.
But instead,
make
what
you
you have to do is every day treat it as new. And every day say, I'm going to make the right choices. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't beat yourself up over yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do today? The body is a remarkable organism. Even if you've abused it, you start putting good stuff into it, it actually will reverse the damage that you've done to it in many cases. So the USDA has looked at all the diets that we've been eating. Now, I endorsed a plan called Lindora, high protein, low carb, back in the late 90s. And it worked for me. And what Lindora is really a modified Mediterranean diet, is really what it is. And what we have found out in all of my interviews I've interviewed Atkins, Ornish, all of them. I've interviewed them all.
Yeah.
And after what I really found out was a modified high protein, low carb, or Mediterranean is basically what we should be eating.
Yes. For the most part, yes.
For the most part. However, there were some interesting things in the new USDA guidelines. For instance, don't fear eggs. Right? They used to say eggs are bad. Eggs are no longer bad, right?
Eggs were evil forever. Now they're back.
You know what I do? I take this marvelous all-clad, they're a sponsor, I have to mention, all-clad pan.
Yes.
I will put 4 eggs in there, put it on, let it boil, turn it off, and then put those in the refrigerator. And they're such a quick, easy, good for you snack.
They're wonderful.
And people used to say, "Oh no, that's too many." No, it's not. Well, don't eat them all in one day. But it's not too much. You don't have to do that.
No, it was all a lie to begin with, and now they're just saying.
What was that lie based on? We were sold eat a lot of potatoes and meat and just all this stuff. Why? Why were we sold that bill of goods?
Bad research, misinterpreted research, and when you look at the USDA, they're the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They have to support agriculture. So they're going to push things that aren't necessarily the best.
Right.
Or they're going to protect things like red meat. They never foul-mouth red meat.
I don't eat red meat.
They will never say a bad
I don't
thing.
eat it because of the water.
About red
30, 40 gallons a day for a cow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're going to tell me to take a short shower and then you're going to get a cow 50? No, I'm
Right.
not buying into that.
So bad research, misinterpreted research. They started saying, cholesterol is bad. This is the culprit of our heart disease.
No.
It wasn't.
Ignore cholesterol.
It wasn't.
If you're eating the right things, like fiber, my pain doctor told me something interesting. I take whole psyllium fiber twice a day, okay? And I'm not on a statin. I'm not on a statin.
Good, they're horrible.
And they're horrible, and I stopped
Horrible.
them one day and said, I don't want this.
Yes.
And he said, you're not on a statin because of your fiber intake. He says, the fiber bounces around and collects the cholesterol while it's still in digestion.
I call it a Brillo pad.
It really is. And so if you eat enough fiber, let's talk about what their recommendations are. What they're saying now basically is high protein, but lean proteins.
Yes.
And by the way, this is the size, right?
Right.
This is the serving.
Not much.
This is your steak. This is your hamburger. This is your...
Notice our difference.
Yeah. So it's your fist.
Your fist.
Yep. And this is your serving of protein.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Right? It's about the size of Ember.
Yeah. Don't eat more than Ember.
Don't eat Ember. But it's about the size of Ember. So it's high protein. It is, when we say low carb, if I have to eat a potato, because I like them, which one should I eat? Because I eat sweet or yams.
It really, to me personally, it really doesn't matter if
Really?
it's a little red potato, a yam.
So
a
you would
white-
tell your clients that even a white potato is okay
Yes,
in moderation?
depends on if it's organic or not and how big is that potato.
Oh, yeah.
Are you eating the skin or not, right? But you get different nutrition from a russet potato, from a sweet potato, and they all have something value.
So if I want to adhere and be good to my family, what are some of the things that I must have, and what are some of the things that I should just every day say no to?
I think the must-haves, whole food, real food, fresh food, the perimeter of the grocery store, fresh meats, fresh produce. Potatoes are okay. Grains that are in their most natural form. To me, rice, quinoa, oats are natural grains.
So you're okay with white rice. A lot of people are poo-pooing the white rice.
They are. But let's look at all the other cultures that eat white rice and
Yeah.
they don't have our health issues.
Well, Buddha ain't skinny.
But is he dying, are they dying of heart disease and
No,
all these things?
no, they're not. No.
So I think it's the quantity, it's what you combined it with that's more important. And I would never tell an Asian client, stop eating white rice.
Right.
Right? Culturally, it's a slap in the face.
Now, we know that sugar is really the culprit, just really.
Sugar and refined oils.
Refined oil. Now, what do I have? Is this a refined oil?
Show me what you have.
I'll show you my oil, baby. Extra virgin olive oil, first cold pressed.
Beautiful.
Is this good?
Good.
Okay, I use it for everything.
Wonderful.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I
wonderful.
either use this or butter. That's just it. That's
Yeah.
just what I use.
Yeah.
Just this or butter. Okay. Oh, and I use 100% sesame oil for some things, flavoring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is good.
You're good.
Okay, good.
You're good.
What would be bad if I were pulling out?
Corn oil.
I was going to say there's a thing under here just marked vegetable oil. That would
That's-
probably be bad.
That's what we're talking about.
So stop with your canola.
Canola, usually it's GMO.
Rapeseed, yeah.
And also GMO, and they go rancid fairly easily.
So no.
So I don't.
So olive oil,
No.
sesame oil. What about the rage of coconut? Everyone's just raging about the coconut. What about that?
It's great. It's
Really?
great. Just
Is
get,
it worth the $7 for the jar? I mean, really?
It is, because you're not going to use it every day. It's going to be used maybe in baking, maybe in a Thai dish, because it takes on the coconut flavor. So it's not like you're going to use it on everything. But it is very anti-inflammatory, kind of medicinal.
Okay.
So I like it. Going back to the guidelines, one of the things that they're still poo-pooing is saturated fat.
Okay.
They're not getting...
Where do we get that? What does that mean, saturated fat?
It's really the fat that's solid at room temperature, if you think
Okay.
of it that way. Coconut oil falls under that category.
So that explains that. Saturated fat is anything that would be solid at room temperature.
So think animal fats.
I'm saturated. Pretty solid.
Saturated with love. That's what you... So,
Now let me ask you.
yes.
Does it matter if I eat off of this or this?
Oh my gosh, of course. Yes. Too much.
What if I don't fill it?
You're going to be tempted to fill it because psychologically it's not going to look like...
So save these for guest and special occasions.
Save this as a serving platter.
Right, and eat off of
Eat off of this.
eat off of these. So of that,
Yeah.
what should be here? Here's my plate.
Half veggies.
So half of this plate vegetables. Not boring vegetables, fun recipes with vegetables.
Yes.
Do whatever you want to with them.
Toss it with organic butter, some garlic.
Olive oil.
Make it taste good.
Whatever
Olive
you'd
oil.
like, yes.
Yes.
So, but this half is veggies.
Half veggies. Quarter, maybe your starch.
So this is starch.
That
That
could
could be
be
quinoa.
brown rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, more natural starches.
Right.
Right. Less pasta or
Right. yeah.
refined stuff. Quarter protein.
So this is your protein, and
Yeah.
this is your fistful.
Yep.
So veggies, starch, protein.
Yeah.
That's what the guideline says. That's what you need to do. Veggies, starch, protein. At every meal, do that, and will good things happen to them?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
We
marvelous.
hope so.
Well,
We hope so.
we're hoping, because people get confused and they get overwhelmed and they're like, well, what? I don't
Yeah.
know what all that means. It's like,
Oh,
what
I
do I
know.
do? What do I do?
Yeah.
Here's what you do.
Simplify.
Vegetable, starch, protein.
That's it. That's dinner.
And of course, you know, if you gotta have a dessert, as you all know, I have the wonderful fresh yogurt maker. Get some non-fat Greek yogurt. They encourage a lot more yogurt in this new USDA.
Yeah.
The USDA guidelines are available online. You can find them everywhere. What is your website of your nutritional?
Eatfreelynutrition.com.
And you call it Eat Freely Nutrition because I would imagine the biggest worry of people when they're trying to take control of their diet is that they're not going to be able to eat stuff they like.
Yes.
And you're saying
Yes.
poppycock.
Yes. And a lot of the times people overcorrect. They get too restrictive with themselves, or they go on a diet that's just too restrictive and not a long-term plan. So when they come in, they're usually relieved after
How
my
much
session.
would a nutritionist cost a person since they're not covered?
I charge $120 an hour.
How many
Some-
hours would they need with you, do you think?
It varies. The initial is usually 90 minutes. Follow-ups could be half an hour to an hour. Some people need a couple sessions. Some people pay for a package of 10. I mean, it really just depends on what they want to do. If they have health issues on top of their weight issues.
If they have maladies, cancer, HIV, that sort of thing, how important is a nutritionist to that
Huge.
regime?
Huge. Huge.
And yet our government won't pay for it.
Very limited. The only thing they'll pay for with a lot of limitation, diabetes, kidney failure, and a little bit of obesity. They're starting to tap into that, but it's so limited.
So if they wanted to start down the path to good nutrition based on the USDA guidelines tomorrow, what's a couple solid pieces of advice you could give them?
Real food.
Shop the outside of the grocery store.
Yep. Organic when you can afford it.
Farmers markets are a great way to do that affordably.
Yes. And I highly recommend, if they're going to put money towards organic, to start with dairy products, if that's what they consume, if they tolerate it, or any animal products, because you're getting most of the toxins and pesticides from animal products. You can scrub a fruit or vegetable pretty well, except for berries.
Right.
But you can't take the pesticides, the hormones, all of
Right.
that out of your milk.
All right.
Or out of
Now,
beef.
we're going to do another segment with her for a different show. And what it's going to be about is about juicing, because another key to nutrition is fiber and nutrients. And there's a big debate going on about juicing.
Yes.
Should we just juice or should we use the whole thing? How should we do it? It's important nutrition information. You're not going to want to miss it. So find that on Life in Segments. Just go to the show page and find the other segment that we're going to do about juicing, because it's all part of your nutrition package. Don't get overwhelmed. By the way, if you're broke, even one session for $120 could help change your world.
Yeah.
And it could save you thousands in future medical care. Nutritionists are not for the elite, and they're not just for Madonna.
Right.
They are here to help you. And so if you're having trouble understanding the USDA guidelines and how to incorporate them into your family's diet, make an appointment with a nutritionist. See if you can get it covered. If you can't,
Yeah.
it's well worth the money, whatever area
Always
you're in.
ask for sliding scale.
I was going to ask, what are some things they should do when they go to a nutritionist?
Ask for sliding scale. It never hurts to ask. Many of my friends in private practice have a sliding scale, right? We just don't advertise it, but we
Okay.
have one.
Great.
For Medicare, Medi-Cal patients, we often offer sliding scale. For students, we offer sliding scale. Sometimes for seniors, for military.
And should they be
So-
aware of anyone trying to sell them something?
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course, because there are plenty of nutritionists out there, especially here in California, that don't have a lot of educational background in the topic.
And they're just marketers, really.
They're just marketers, yeah.
Okay, so be careful about that, okay?
Yes.
Find yourself a certified one.
A legit-
All right, thank you so much for joining us and helping us make sense of the kitchen and still understanding this ever-changing landscape of what it is we're supposed to eat and not eat. I know it never changes for me. Chocolate cake is never on any of it's just never on any of the things, so I just got to avoid it. We're going to go and we're going to juice, so be sure that you catch that segment as well. I am Karel. Thank you, darling. All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
be back in just a
All
second.
right.
This is where I would play my intro music, but because we don't have the money for the copyright, I'm hearing it in my head. I'm hearing the entire record in my head right now, from Tapestry to You've Got a Friend. You make me feel like a natural woman. I'm thinking about Carole King, and probably one of the most beautiful albums ever, called Tapestry, in which she sings so many of the songs and hits that are iconic now. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. That's beautiful, of course, is the name of that song. When you're down and troubled and you need a loving hand, you got a friend. That, of course, Carole King. Carole King is possibly one of the premier singer-songwriters of the last 50 years. She's written 60 years. She's written more songs than you could ever imagine. Hits, doo-wop hits, R&B hits, Natural Woman, like I said, for Aretha. The reason I'm telling you is because Carole King Tapestry was the first album that I ever purchased. It was a 12-inch vinyl, album, and I purchased it with Janis Joplin's Pearl album. And those were the first two. Now, I had records before that. My mother had given me albums and things, but these were the first two. Remember when buying music was cool? Remember when people waited in line at record stores to be the first person to have that album? And when you went and told your friends that you had the album, it was a badge of honor. And it was that you paid for it. You bought it. You would save up money to go and buy music. That's how much you valued music. Now, I've heard a couple of great tweets recently. One said that we're 4.6 billion years old, roughly, the universe, and you were lucky enough to live at the time of David Bowie. And someone else said a ninth planet has just been found, and there has been a ninth planet just found. And they found it, they announced it on the same day that Bowie died. So they said, I don't need your science paper. I've already got that figured out. I wanted to talk about the excitement that you felt about your first album and what was your first, how many of you remember singles, 7-inch singles? My first 7-inch single was by a group called The Captain and Tennille, and it was Love. Love will keep us together. Now, who knew they would grow up and have to get divorced because of healthcare cost? Because Daryl, the captain, became very ill, and the cost of his care was so expensive that it was going to totally bankrupt both of them and throw them basically into the streets. And so in order to protect herself in her retirement, she had to actually divorce. I believe they did get divorced, the captain and Tennille. Because music has suffered a lot to cancer recently. David Bowie, we lost Glenn Frey, a lot of musicians, a lot that I'm not mentioning to you right now in the last 6 months have passed away. And in America, we still don't have how do I say this? Our recognition for arts and artist and entertainer as a real thing still doesn't exist. And yet, when it comes to things around the world that they want our art, they want our music, they want Mariah Carey, and they can have her. They want poor Celine Dion, losing her husband and her brother. But they want, Mariah Carey. They want these people. They want Celine. They want art. Well, she's Canada's, but they want our music. And so I wanted today to take this time to remind you that, yes, music is still $1 billion industry here in this country. And that if you're out there listening to me, it's never too early to start and never too old to start if you'd like to make music. And we can all have a good, healthy appreciation of it. So how about you go to wherever you listen to music now? I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 5, 50, or 100. I don't care. You go wherever you go to listen to music after this show, after you're done watching my show. You go and you listen to the first album that you ever bought. Or you listen to that first 7-inch single that you ever had. And then you do this for me. You pull out your favorite records of all time and you make a playlist. Because just 2 weeks ago, science revealed that if you listen to music from the happiest times of your life, it does in fact improve mood. So if you battle depression or if you're going through a tough time, grab music from the happiest time of your life, and it will indeed, and science now has done the research, change your life and change your mood. Music is still so powerful, and we've unfortunately realized it with the loss of people like David Bowie. Let's not wait till we lose others to enjoy them. It's a big industry. It is an enormous asset to America, the American music industry. American music artists still kick ass all over the world. And I don't care whether it's Madonna or some of our more independent artists, we still produce some of the best music in the world. So go and grab some of it, listen to it, buy it, and remember that first time that you went and got that record or that CD or that digital file and you put your headphones on and suddenly Carole King was taking you away at 9 years old, or Bowie was transporting you on a starship somewhere, or the Stones were making you just rock out, or disco was making you dance. Whatever it might be, it's good for your heart. It's good for your soul. It's good for our country. It's good for our economy. It's good for the artist economy. Go listen to some music. Go now. Go. The Karel Cast is underwritten by PowerMax.com. In 4 easy steps, get the best value for your Mac, iPad, iPhone, or iPod from the Mac experts. PowerMax, PowerMax.com. And FarmFreshFlowers.com, a local flower grower in Southern California. What's in the field today is at the door tomorrow. FarmFreshFlowers.com, an underwriter for over 10 years of Karel and Karel Life in Segments. And then Progressive Voices. Always progressive, always on. Progressive Voices is heard through the TuneIn app or at progressivevoices.com. If they're progressive, they're on Progressive Voices. And finally, All Clad Cookware donates to Cooking for the 99. They are the supplier of all of our cookware for Cooking for the 99. All Clad, that brings out the chef in you. We thank our underwriters at Karel Life in Segments.